Yo, what is good, everyone? It's your boy Jedi, and we're gonna go over everything that's gone and happened in the Gears eSports scene. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If I know something crazy, I'm probably gonna upload it right away. But I've been uploading other stuff, and it's taking a while to render. I have a crappy PC for this kind of stuff. So let's just get into it. Let's go and know all this craziness, this GoW Rostermania, and let's just get into it. So first things first, Ryze, they dropped Lenny. They thank him for his his production and his professionalism as a player and as a person. So he is definitely dropped. He is not on Ryze anymore, and it's a for sure thing that it's a Vexi's Fran, Icy, and Rushies. So that'll be your Ryze roster, 4v4. Kind of still don't agree with it. It is what it is, though. I feel like just they don't mesh well. I feel like if you put a Solars on that team, then I feel like that's a championship team, in my opinion. I don't know who you drop, Rushies or Vexies, but if you put Solars on that team, bro, it's just a difference maker, and I feel like that's just needed. So that's it for that. We're gonna go on to the next tweet. Developing roster news. F&I rumored to be dropping Crystallize and replaced for Dyslexic. The rumored roster for F&I team is Exploit, Sleeper, Fiercely, and Choche and Dyslexic. Choche is definitely a coach and a manager for this team, which I'll show you in the later parts of this video. Their roster consists of Toady, Exploits, Fiercely, and Dyslexic. And obviously, Choche is like the manager slash coach for the team. Let's just go into this here and see if they. So here's the tweet. So there you go. Exploits, Fiercely, Toady, as you can see here. Reported this days ago, but VQ just announced Jacko as their head coach. VQ blocked us on Twitter, but we're just reporting intel that's given us from multiple sources. Congratulations on the new home. Sorry we offended you, VQ. It was pretty obvious, but this is another announcement. As you'll see down the road, in all these tabs that I got open for you guys, there's a shit ton. So yeah, for my lesson and what I learned, if there's some sort of news, even a little bit of news on that day, I'm gonna report on it. I'm going to make a video on it because that's what some of you guys enjoy these kind of videos. I see the comment section down below, but then again, so the old coach was Alex at Great. He's moving on. He's gonna be doing some school stuff. The major is starting or something shit like that. I'll show you it later down the road. Obviously, with Noble's disappointing major, they kind of split up in a way. As you can see here, Jacko left them, going to join VQ. Obviously, if you're a coach, you want to get paid, and that's literally the whole point of being a head coach. I feel like the head coach does the most work, even more work than the players, because they gotta watch a VOD, they gotta watch other teams' VODs, which adds more time into it. They gotta do all these like analytics and all that kind of stuff. What do they ban? What do they pick? And Jacko is probably the best head coach now. Now that Ash is gone, Fatal Strike's gone. Probably Affinity is there. Probably Affinity is the best head coach, and then Jacko. But to be honest, it's kind of like similar. They're both the same. But the coaching department is getting a lot thinner. But hey, if there's orgs that want to pay the coaches, that put the time and effort, there's people out there that can coach. So that's it for that. Let's go back into what else they have here. Feel free to follow these guys. They're gonna post a bunch of stuff. Elevate, they dropped their roster of Gary, Nero, Krabbies, Exclusive, and Dragons. I feel like I don't know what's gonna go on with that roster, but I feel like Elevate and Carnage Gaming, obviously with Dyslexic moving on, that whole team, the Carnage Gaming roster, they broke up. So I could see maybe like a Gary, Krabbies, some players from the Carnage Gaming roster maybe making some moves and making some teams together. I heard Dragons. He's gonna be potentially be under rated R. He's gonna be looking for some players to play with, and I don't know. It sounds like a good idea. I think it's just it wasn't a good fit. These guys are all good slayers, but they're not very smart players. So I think that's what Dragons needs. He needs to surround himself with some good players, which I'll go down after all this and tell you guys maybe where he'll probably end up. Let's just keep going around. The Pittsburgh Knights have dropped Idenos, but he's restricted free agent. So that means an organization has to have the money to pay his buyout and put him on their team. I feel like he's kind of screwed. He's probably going to play other games for the rest of this season or just be like a sub, sitting there on the sidelines. I don't know what's going on. Pretty crazy to see. If there is a team that will buy him out, maybe Rebel, and he'll reunite with, Adverse and Crack, someone on that roster getting dropped. Who knows? But it's pretty insane that on the Pittsburgh Knights roster of Raver, Monkeys, Summons, and Desanide, that Idenos would be the one getting dropped. He's like basically the face of Latin America besides Choche. So that's pretty insane, pretty crazy. As you can see here, obviously with VQ, they had to drop someone after winning the championship, and it was Reptilian. He was the one to get dropped. And as you know, they picked up Jacko while Alex, great, he moved on. So their VQ Vanquish's roster consists of Precision, Handles, Ace Cells, and Vital Sam, your recent most champions. So let's keep moving on. As you can see there, Reptilian, FA, Idenos, Restricted FA. It looks like former pro player, Seduceful, he became pro near the end of Gears 4. He's looking like he might come back into Gears. I could see him potentially playing with Burst. He did make a tweet later on, which I'll show you guys. Vibes are set. Xbox Series X ? Ready. So it looks like maybe potentially Sleepy Time comes back. I don't know if he's gonna be playing with maybe like Speedy, or if he's gonna find an org that will fund him to get Idenos out of that restricted free agent, and he builds his own roster. Or he's gonna play with some OGs like Flames and Octanes and all those guys. But who knows he's gonna play with. Another thing here, we're gonna keep moving on. It's time or what? Eternity Infinity, we looking for one. Obviously Rushies didn't like that. That's their coach. He said get out of here. So potentially maybe Eternity comes back from retirement. Hudson's, maybe they bring two people with them, the E6 vibe, maybe Crush Mode joins in, maybe a Zenon, I don't know. But it seems like it's potentially possible that, old E6 era. If I can't get this team to happen, I'll play. If I can get this team to happen, I'll play again, but only this team. I don't fuck with people. And there's a tweet I made early on. I said, bring back the Revenge Squad. And that squad was like near the end of UE and the beginning of Gears 4 when these guys were pro players. They did bang out with some of the best. They placed top 3 a few times, so they're not terrible at the video game. You had Kraz, you had Jerpy, you had Gwish, and you had Giraffics, and there was someone else on that team back in the day. I forget who it was, but that roster was filthy. I think it was Yogurt, and I don't know. We'll see if they come back. But for the scene to grow, we definitely need some of the old vets to come back and some new blood to join in the scene. As you can see here, announcement not even 24 hours in. No time to relax, enjoy with the format change. We have to make some hard decisions, and this is them talking about them having to drop Reptilian. You guys could pause the screen, read it here if you guys want to, but we already know that as we are going to keep moving on. Here's another announcement. As you can see, their coach, Alex Winnizer, he's retiring. He has some business that he has to take care of. And then they made an announcement further on and, picked up Jackal. Another thing, if you guys want to take the time, you can pause the screen. Read this note. He did a fantastic job. He came in, started off from the bottom in the coaching role, and then finally became a champion. What a great coach. There's only very few coaches that actually won a championship, and that is Fatal, Ashes, and now him. Great. So I just congratulations to him on being, the only 3 in the era of, well, actually also Ryan Fools. So that's disrespect. My apologies, Ryan Fools. So the only 4 coaches that actually won as like a head coach in Gears. So he falls in that category. Abolix, he announced FA, which is pretty interesting to me. It's pretty crazy to me, but there was some issues behind the scene. So it does make sense when you understand what is going on behind the scenes. But to give you guys an update on Noble, obviously the head coach is gone, so they would have to find another head coach. I don't know who that head coach would be. They also lost Toady, so that makes it that they're a team of 3 of Gears, Lava, and Zysho. And it seems like to me, from what I'm hearing, is they're either going to stop playing and competing in Gears, or playing with Reptilian, which I think Reptilian's options. I think that's the best place where he can go after being dropped from BQ. And UIU, they dropped Force, as you could see down the road. I'll tell you, there's an announcement that they're looking for an org. But yeah, UIU is full. They have Kenny, Gilbert, Praise, and Powers. They're staying together. Then you got Ryze, they're staying together. VQ, obviously because they dropped him. And then Noble, being one of those top, NA teams. I feel like that's his best place to go. There's no real good option if he actually wants to potentially win a championship or be in the top of the money. That's the whole point of competing. You want to win. So that's it for that. I'll also tell you where Abolix is moving on as well. So there's my tweet. Bring back Revenge, Team Revenge, please. Or before Giraffe, the eyeballs. Here's another one. Absence. He was part of Carnage Gaming. Due to dyslexic, moving on and moving over and going to FNI. He is FA. So it's gonna be some crazy movement and Latin scene, in my opinion. As you can see here, rushing them playing in a tournament with Avexis, Icy, and Fred, proving the the point that they are not playing with Inzum anymore. Here's another tweet. We might see Involving make his return, but who knows? But if he does, that'd be pretty insane. There's Jackal, that announcement. Krabbies, as you can see here, part of that Elevate roster is FA. All those Elevate boys are FA, 100%. Chaos is FA. That was a player that was part of FNI. Pretty insane to see that he is FA. Supposed to be one of the main slayers on the FNI roster, but he got dropped. Sleeper, he became FA as well. He was part of that FNI roster. Crystallize, FA as well. So maybe you could see them all being on a team. Crystallize, Chaos, Sleeper, and then one other person. Shockwave, part of the Carnage Gaming roster, FA. B God, same thing with one of the part of that Carnage Gaming roster, FA. Jax, part of one of those Pro League Latam, teams, became FA. And as you can see here, Rocky, it's him, Cells, and Brawny. I could see maybe potentially like a Yachty or a Versa, someone to fill in that fourth role, but I'm not too sure yet. As you can see in my other tabs, and I'll go in the future, you'll see who these players play with. So it could be potentially those players as a fourth. There's the announcement that they're looking for an org to represent. Kenny, Explosive, Praised, and Powers. Oh, then there's another tweet here that I had, but they deleted it. Unfortunate. Something big is coming at eSports Gears. Looks like Morningstar is probably gonna be getting something. They're gonna be update Morningstar November. New vid, Sired, 16 of the best, blah blah blah. So something is coming in esports Gears. They're gonna pick up some sort of team. They did have a team in LATAM. Here's another big announcement. Crash, former player, is gonna be switching to the coaching role, and you guys could pause the screen and read it there. I think this would be a good role for him. I think he's still good enough to compete. But since that coaching role has, shrunk a bit, there's opportunities to get a job at being a coach. And I think Crash can do an excellent job at that. If I were him, I'd probably go coach the boys in Noble, because that is the next best NA team that doesn't have a coach. Because VQ, they took Noble's coach and Jackal. Ryze, they have, Affinity and Ribs and all those guys. UIU, maybe he could go to UIU if he's the coach for that team. But obviously, Crash is looking for money. And if they can't give him money, then he won't coach. But if Noble gives him, a little bit of money here and there, I think that's a great pickup for Noble. But I could see him coaching UIU or something. As you can see here, Kyle Raiden, FA, seems like he's been dropped or he has moved on with Toy Soldier and Osby. There's a 4-man roster that I'll announce later on into this video, and I'll show you guys who they're playing with. So we're going to keep moving on. There's the FNI announcement we already announced. Gears5 Winter International bracket. So I'm going to look into that. We got some interesting names here. Notorious, Whispers, Vora. Maybe Exclusive is going to be playing with Vora or Sneak or Hezi or, Mortifies or something like that. Who knows? Surprisingly, Jay Vari and these guys lost to Exclusive in them. That's pretty interesting. Rushies and Vexy's got Guy Blaze. That's funny. They had to play Colin in them. That's pretty insane. Sneaking a Versa. Maybe that's going to be a part of a team that's going to be happening. You got to look at these things. And then you see something interesting here. Inzums and Exovius. So there is rumors going around that Hive their roster will consist of Solars, Inzum, Exovios, and Force. So yes, that's what that means. That means Shock, it would be dropped, and Tidy, long teammate of Hive, long teammates for them is Tidy. You probably get dropped. So that's just something. That's why I took that picture and kept it in there because Hive could happen. And as you can see, Sneak said he got the X. So he's FA. He's looking for some teams. So we're gonna look at some of these tournament brackets here. As you can see here, as I was talking before, that it could happen. We have Inzum, Exovia, Solars, and Force. Solars is definitely bringing in all the talented players. These talented players just need to make better decision making on the map, and they could be top tier. Here's another one we have here is Tristan and Zenon. They're playing with Terminus and Exins, but I'm pretty sure they're not going to be playing with them for that long. I could see potentially, maybe a Zenon, Tristan, Firearm, maybe a Heza, bring back the PJJ squad. That'd be pretty cool to see. And as you can see here, we have Absence, Gary, Dyslexic, Raver. As you can see here, Elevate and, CG. I really feel like there's something going to be going on with those two rosters, that they're going to be mixing it up. They're going to make sure it's a full LATAM team this time. As you can see here, we got Rocky, Cells, Bronny, Gears. I know for a fact that Gears is not going to be playing with them, competing with them. But just give me an idea. They're already playing together, so that's a for sure team of 3. As you can see here, we have Crystallized, Toxic, Rapids, Narrow. This could be a potential squad going into 4v4 format. We're going to keep going on. Got Retroshot, Dashes, Waves, Virtus. So this could be a potential squad. Maybe a Retroshot, Dashes, Seduceful, and Burst. Maybe that could be a team of 4 in the future. And here's another team. They were just playing for fun. I don't think this is going to be a full roster, but they got Prospect, Gordo, Rocher, Chochi, and Exploits. And we're going to keep moving on. We had Ziantre, Vino, and Javari. Here's another big one. Soto, Osby, Toy, and Kenny Bounce. So it looks like Soto's maybe trying to bring himself back in a return. He doesn't know what team he's going to be on, but definitely he probably wants to return and compete in Gears. As you can see here, you have Demon, Fiercely, Over, and Effects. Nothing too special with that one, actually. Then you got Reptilian, Detox, Notorious, and Shock. It looked like Reptilian, he was kind of like trying it out with this roster, but it seems like this could be the Morningstar roster that they've been announcing. And they're going to probably potentially fly out Notorious. And another thing is Demise. He is not part of that Hive roster, which is pretty crazy to me. Pretty insane. But I could see Morningstar that they pick up Detox, Shock, Notorious, and Demise. Demise is good friends with Shock. Shock is good friends with Detox. They're competing back before, and they were doing well together before. I think it was Detox or Shock. One of them got picked up on a better team. But those two were doing it when they were playing together. So I could see that this being a roster. And with Reptilian's choice, do you want to play with these guys? Or do you want to play with, proven, talent that actually, players that beaten UIU and other top teams in Noble? So Reptilian is moving over in Noble. Shock, Notorious, Detox, and Demisen. Probably going to be a team. Probably going to be under that org of Morningstar. I took a good guess. Here's another one we have here. We have Rocky, Volcaps, Chris, and Yachty. So here's a little thing here that could potentially be as their 4th, as Rocky, Cells, Ronnie and Yachty. It could be a 4-man squad, but who knows. But here's another one. They also played with a Versa as well. So they're just trying some things out. So just know that some of these players could be part of that 3-man squad. I'm going to keep going through the brackets here. We have Demo, we have Rezik, we have Javar, we have Kenny Bounce. Maybe there's a return where Demo returns. Maybe he plays with God plays and someone else. Who knows? Here's another one. Here's the 4-man roster that I was talking about where rating got dropped, or he left, whatever the case may be. You got Osby, you got Azuris, you got Yogurt, you got Toy Soldier. I could see potentially, Soto getting slide into this roster, or any other, OG Gears players to fill in for Azuri's spot, and then Azuri's coming back to Raiden as a team in 2. Here's another one, Rosado. He's playing with just, basically a bunch of randoms in his eyes. I've seen bodies on Twitter a lot tweeting, he's probably hungry, wants to play. He has a veteran in Rosado. And then here's the last one where you have Yachty, Rocky Cells, and Kenny Bounce. So it's looking like maybe more of a Yachty as their 4th. Maybe a Verse is moving on, playing with Sneak and some other players. Just giving you guys a heads up, some sneak peeks as well. We're going to go back up on all of this. And here's the Gears5 rosters. So Ryze, we got Icy, Fran of Xy's, Rushies, XUIU, looking for an org, Explosive, Kenny, Powers, Praise. Then you got Noble, which is Lava, Zysho, Gearies, and I'm going to put this here. It's going to be Reptilian, 100%. Hive, from what I heard, this guy is being dropped, and it's going to be Solars. Just pretty crazy to me. You got Jacko as the coach here. Precision, Handles, A-Cells, and Vital Sam. PK, no other news besides Identims being dropped. You got Raver, Monkey Summons, and Desanite. Honestly, it could be just a 5-man roster. Him being a sub, him doing other things. Who knows? FNI, Coach, Manager, Choche. Got Fiercely Exploits, Toady, and Dyslexic. CG, I had this on here, but honestly, it could be them. Could be a mixture of any of these guys. Gary. Who else was on that team? Narrow. And I forget who it was. There's someone else on that roster, but I forget. But I could see something with the likes of any of these guys being a part of the team. I don't know why these guys, more guys, just wouldn't team. Maybe you have like a Gary, Shockwave, and 2 others or something. As you can see here, Rebel, you have Crack, Cardio, Flame, Avers, and Demon. There's been no news or anything about that as of late. Let me put this over here. It sells. We got a team of 2 of Pushies and Exist. Exist is known to be one of those guys who's won the AM Challenger scene a lot. Not as a recent, but in Season 1. He helped develop that BQ roster, and now that they've won championship, there's other players that are developed and good, so I can see him doing the same thing again, trying to make it at the top again. So here's another one. We have Speedy, Rezikal, Abolix, and Javari. I saw them on Zenin's stream when Zenin was streaming. Yeah, I just think it's pretty questionable about this roster, but I can see why Abalox and Speedy are together. Rezik is there. I'm not sure about Kyle or Javari being the 4th. I don't know. I was thinking maybe like a Crash that could have been on this roster. Maybe it's a God plays. They need, more slaying power because this guy, he folds like fucking crazy. It's pretty insane. I know he's just not going to go anywhere. But I think this roster, even though it's not being named or going on, I think this roster right here that I'm putting out for you guys would be pretty damn good. Dragons as the main slayer. He's that, like, tip of the iceberg, do dumb plays. I don't know. Seems like everyone needs one of those who does crazy stuff. He is MVP. He is a champion in EU. He did get offered from Rated R to build his own team and probably get paid. And if that's the case, if they're getting paid, he did ask Vester to play. And these other two players are very good, smart individual players. Lanarchy, veteran from Gears 1 and 2, from the stories I hear from my homie there. I think this roster would be pretty good and smash a lot of teams, surprisingly. Rowley's a very good player, played with him a lot, hits his shots. It's just his ego mindset takes over sometimes. If he just shuts that down, this roster actually can be really, really good and bang with the best of them. Then you have Zenon and Tristan. They're playing with two others. As you could tell, I was watching the stream. It was two others that I was just like, I didn't believe, or like, I don't know what the case may be. But this is the roster I was hoping. Maybe this is the one that Kraz was talking about. Giraffic, Squish, Chirpy, and Kraz. Then you got Toy Soldier, Yogurt, Osby, and Azuris. And then for MX Star Gaming, whatever that one that's, domes and whatever that Star Spawn guy. I think the roster will be Shock, Detox, Notorious, and Demise. I think this will be the announcement that's going to happen. It's either Demise or Reptilian, but if I'm Reptilian, I'm going to Noble. I'm not playing with these guys. Noble's just a better roster. You got a Champion and Lava. And then you got Gears and Zysho, who've beaten probably like the team that they've the most dominant Gears team ever before in Gears 4, and they've beaten them in this game as well. They're more proven players. So if I was Reptilian, I'd move over there. So this is everything I know as of late, as of right now, in the Gears eSports scene. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. It's a long one, but if I get any news or any updates on anything, I'm probably gonna make the video as soon as I can and tell you guys what's going on. If there's an organization happening, tournaments, but feel free to sign up in these tournaments and compete with yourself as yourselves or with your friends or whatever. It'll help the scene grow, which definitely needs it. You could just sign up on the Sunday and just play the Sunday tournaments. You don't have to scrim every day. Just play the Sunday tournament, support the scene in that regard, and we'd appreciate you. So that's it for this video. Gears Esports. Let me know in the comment section down below if you guys know anything about these rosters. But I know 99% sure that these are the rosters as of right now. And yeah, take care. Peace.